Osho, Yoga, the Alpha and the Omega, Volume 2, Discourses on the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, given at the Osho Commune International, Pune, India. Discourse number 3.
तीव्र संवेगानाम् आसन्नः मृदु मध्य अधिमात्रत्वात् ततोऽपि विशेषः ईश्वर प्रणिधानात्वात् क्लेश कर्म विपाक आशयैः अपरामृष्टः पुरुषविशेष ईश्वरः तत्र निरतिशयं सर्वज्ञबीजम्.
Bhagavan Patanjali said, "Success is nearest to those whose efforts are intense and sincere. The chances of success vary according to the degree of effort. Success is also attained by those who surrender to God. God is the supreme ruler. He is an individual unit of divine consciousness. He is untouched by the afflictions of life, action, and its result. In God, the seed is developed to its highest extent."
There are three types of seekers. The first type comes onto the path because of curiosity. Patanjali calls it kutuhal. He is not really interested. He has drifted into it as if by accident. He may have read something. He may have heard somebody talk about God, the truth, the ultimate liberation, and he became interested. The interest is intellectual, just like a child who becomes interested in everything and each thing. And then, after a time, drifts away, because more and more curiosities are always opening their doors. Such a man will never attain. Out of curiosity, you cannot attain the truth, because truth needs a persistent effort, a continuity, a perseverance, which a man of curiosity cannot do. A man of curiosity can do a certain thing for a certain period of time, according to his mood. But then there is a gap. And in that gap, all that is made disappears, is unmade. Again he will start from the very beginning, and the same will happen. He cannot crop the result. He can sow the seeds, but he cannot wait, because millions of new interests are always calling him. He goes to the south, then he moves to the east, then he goes to the west, then to the north. He is like a drifting wood in the sea. He is not going anywhere. His energy is not moving to a certain goal. Whatsoever circumstance pushes him, accidental he is, and the accidental man cannot attain to the divine. And he may do much activity, but it is all futile, because in the day he will make and in the night he will unmake. A perseverance is needed. A continuous hammering is needed. Jalaluddin Rumi had a Somali school, a school of wisdom. He used to take his disciples to the fields, to the farms around. Particularly one farm, he used to take all his new disciples to show what has happened there. Whenever a new disciple will come, he will take him to that farm. There was something worth. The farmer was an example of a certain state of mind. The farmer was digging a well, but he will dig 10 feet, 15 feet, and then he will change the mind. This place doesn't look good. So he will start another hole, and then another. Since many years he has been doing that. Now there were 8 incomplete holes. The whole farm was destroyed, and he was working on the 9th. Jalaluddin will say to his new disciples, look, don't be like this farmer. If he had put all his effort onto one hole, by this time the hole would have been 100 feet at least. He has made much effort, much activity he has done, but he cannot wait. 10, 12, 15 feet, then he gets bored. Then he starts another hole. This way the whole farm will be covered with holes, and there will never be a well. This is the man of curiosity, the accidental man, who does things, and when he starts he has much zeal, in fact too much. And this too much zeal cannot become a continuity. He starts with such vigor and zest that you know that soon he will stop. The second type of man who comes to the inner search is the man of jigyasa, inquiry. He has not come out of curiosity. He has come with an intense inquiry. He means it, but he is also not enough, because his meaning is basically intellectual. He may become a philosopher, but he cannot become a religious man. He will inquire deeply, but his inquiry is intellectual. It remains head-oriented. It is a problem to be solved. Life and death is not involved. It is not a question of life and death. It is a riddle, a puzzle. He enjoys solving it, just as you enjoy solving a crossword puzzle, because it gives you a challenge. It has to be solved. You will feel very good if you can solve it. But this is intellectual, and deep down ego is involved. This man will become a philosopher. He will try hard. He will think, contemplate, but he will never meditate. He will reflect. Logically, rationally, he will find many clues. He will create a system. But the whole thing will be his own projection. Truth needs you totally. Even 99% won't do. Exactly 100% of you is needed. And head is only 1%. You can live without the head. Animals are living without the head. Trees are living without the head. Head is not such an essential thing in existence. You can easily live. In fact, you can more easily live without the head than you are living with the head. It creates millions of complexities. Head is not just an absolute necessity. And nature knows that. It is a superfluous luxury. So if you have not enough food, the body knows where the food should go. It stops giving it to the head. That's why in poor countries, intellect cannot develop. Because intellect is a luxury. When everything is finished, when the body is completely getting everything, only then the energy moves towards the head. Even in your life it happens every day, but you are not aware. Eat too much food, immediately you feel sleepy. What is happening? The body needs energy to digest. The head can be forgotten. The energy moves towards the stomach. Head feels dizzy, sleepy. Energy is not moving, blood is not moving towards head. Body has its own economy. There are basic things, there are non-basic things. Basic things have to be fulfilled first, because the non-basic can wait. Your philosophy can wait. There is not much necessity about it. But your stomach cannot wait. Your stomach has to be fulfilled first. That hunger is more basic. Because of this basic realization, many religions have tried fasting. Because if you fast, the head cannot think. Because the energy is not so much. It cannot be given to the head. But this is a deception. When the energy will be there, the head will start thinking again. This meditation is a lie. If you fast long, for few days continuously, the head cannot think, not that you have attained to no mind. Simply, superfluous energy doesn't exist in you now. The body needs first. Bodily needs are basic, essential. Head needs are secondary, superfluous. It is just as you have an economy in your home. If your child is dying, you will sell the TV set. There is nothing involved in it. You can sell the furniture. When the child is dying, when you are hungry, you can sell even the house. First things first, that is the meaning of economy. Second thing second. And head is the last. It is only 1% of you, and that too superfluous. You can exist without it. Can you exist without the stomach? Can you exist without the heart? But you can exist without the head. And when you pay too much attention to the head, you are completely upside down. You are doing a sirsasana, standing on the head. You have completely forgotten that head is not essential. And when you give only head to the inquiry, it is jigyasa. It is a luxury. You can become a philosopher and sit on an armchair, rest and think. Philosophers are like luxurious furniture. If you can afford, good. But it is not a life and death problem. So Patanjali says the man of Kutuhal, the man of curiosity, cannot achieve. The man of Jigyasa, inquiry, will become a philosopher. Then there is the third man, whom Patanjali calls the man of Mumuksha. This word Mumuksha is difficult to translate. So I will explain it. Mumuksha means the desire to be desireless. The desire to be completely liberated. The desire to get out of the wheel of existence. The desire not to be born again, not to die again. The feeling that it is enough. Born millions of times, dying again and again, and moving in the same vicious circle. Mumuksha means to become the ultimate dropout from the very wheel of existence. Bored, suffering, and one wants to get out of it. The inquiry becomes now a life and death problem. Your whole being is at stake. Patanjali says only a man of mumuksha, to whom the desire of moksha, liberation, has arisen, can become a religious man, and then too, because he is a very, very logical thinker. Then too, there are three types of men who belong to the category of mumuksha. The first type of man who belongs to mumuksha puts his 1/3 being into the effort. Putting 1/3 of your being into the effort, you will attain something. What you will attain will be a negative achievement. You will not be tense. This has to be understood very deeply. But you will not be calm. You will not be tense. The tensions will drop. But you will not be tranquil, calm, cool. The attainment will be negative. You will not be ill, but you will not be healthy also. Illness will disappear. You will not feel irritated. You will not feel frustrated, but you will not feel fulfilled also. The negative will drop. The thorns will drop, but the flower has not come. This is the first degree of mumuksha. You can find many people who are stuck there. You will feel a certain quality in them, that they don't react. They don't get irritated. You cannot make them angry. You cannot put them in anxiety. They have attained something, but still you feel something is lacking. They are not at ease. Even non-angry, they don't have compassion. They may not be angry at you, but they cannot forgive. Subtle is the difference. They are not angry, that's right. But even in their being non-angry, there is no forgiveness. They are stuck. They don't bother about you, your insult, but they are in a way cut off from relationship. They can't share. Trying to be not angry, they have moved out of all relationships. They have become like islands, closed. And when you are an island closed, you are uprooted. You cannot flower. You cannot be happy. You cannot have a well-being. It is a negative achievement. Something has been thrown, but nothing has been attained. The path is clear, of course. Even to throw something is very good, because now the possibility comes into existence, you can attain something. Patanjali calls them mradu, soft. The first degree of attainment, negative. You will find many sannyasis in India, many monks in Catholic monasteries who are stuck at the first degree. They are good people, but you will find them dull. It is very good not to be angry, but it is not enough. Something is missing. Nothing positive has happened. They are empty vessels. They have emptied themselves, but somehow they have not been refilled. The higher has not descended, the lower has been thrown. Then there is a second degree of mumukshu, the second degree of the right seeker, who puts himself 2/3 into the effort. Not yet total, just in the middle. Because of the middle, Patanjali calls him Madhya, the middleman. He attains something. The first degree man is in him, something more is added. He is at peace, silent, cool, collected. Whatsoever happens in the world does not affect him. He remains unaffected, detached. He becomes like a pea. Very peaceful. If you come near him, you will feel his peace surrounding you. Just as you go in a garden and the cool air and the fragrance of the flowers and the singing of the birds all surround you. They touch you. You can feel. With the first degree man, the mradu, you will not feel anything. You will feel an emptiness, a desert-like being. And the first type of man will suck you. If you go near him, you will feel that you have been emptied. Somebody has been sucking you. Because he is a desert. With him you will feel being dried. And you will be afraid. You will feel this with many sannyasis. If you go near them, you will feel they are sucking you. Not knowingly. They have attained the first degree. They have become empty. And that very emptiness becomes like a hole. And you are sucked by it automatically. It is said in Tibet that this first degree of man, if he is anywhere, should not be allowed to move in the town. When lamas in Tibet attain to the first degree, they are prohibited to go out of the monasteries. Because if this man comes near somebody, he sucks. That sucking is beyond his control. He cannot do anything about it. He is like a desert. Anything that comes nearer is being sucked, exploited. It is not allowed for the first degree lamas to touch a tree because it has been observed that the tree dies. Even in the Himalayas, Hindu sannyasis are not allowed to touch trees. They will die. He is a sucking phenomenon. This first degree Lama is not allowed to attend anybody's marriage because he will become a destructive force. He is not allowed to bless anybody because he cannot bless. Even when he is blessing, he is sucking. You may not have known it, for these first degree lamas, sannyasin, sadhus, monasteries were created so they can live in an enclosed world of their own, not allowed to move out unless they attain to the second degree. They are not allowed to bless anybody. The second degree seeker who has put his two-third being becomes peaceful, calm. If you go near him, he flows in you. He shares. Now he is no more a desert. Now he is a green forest. Many things are coming up in him, silent, calm, tranquil. You will feel it, but this is also not the goal. Many are stuck there. Just to be silent is not enough. What type of achievement is this? Just to be silent. It is like death. No movement, no activity. You are at peace, of course. At home, of course. But no celebration, no bliss. Third degree seeker who puts his totality into it attains to bliss. Bliss is a positive phenomenon. Peace is just on the way. When bliss comes nearer, you become peaceful. It is a distant influence of the bliss that is reaching near you. It is just like coming near a river. From a long distance you start feeling that the air is cooling. The quality of the greenery is changing. Trees are greener with more foliage. Air is cool. The river you have not seen yet, but the river is somewhere near. The source of water is somewhere near. When the source of life is somewhere near, you become peaceful. But you have not attained yet. Just on the way, Patanjali calls this man the Madhya, the middleman. He is also not the goal. Unless you can dance with ecstasy. This man cannot dance. This man cannot sing because singing will look like disturbing the peace. Dancing will look like foolish. What are you doing? This man can only sit like a dead statue. Silent, of course, but not flowering. Green, but the flowers has not happened yet. The final has not descended. Then is the third degree man who can dance, who will look mad because he has got so much he cannot contain. Because he cannot contain, he will sing and he will dance and he will move and he will share and he will throw wherever he can the seeds that are showering on him endlessly. This is the third degree man. Says Patanjali, success is nearest to those whose efforts are intense and sincere. The chances of success vary according to the degree of effort. Success is nearest to those whose efforts are intense and sincere. Your totality is needed. Remember, sincerity is a quality that happens whenever you are totally in something. But people are almost wrong in their idea of sincerity. They think to be serious is sincere. To be serious is not to be sincere. Sincerity is a quality which happens whenever you are totally in something. A child playing with his toys is sincere. Totally in it, absorbed. Nothing left behind. No holding back. He is not there really. Only the play goes. Because if you don't hold anything, where you are, you have become completely one with the activity. The actor is no more there. The doer is no more there. When the doer is not, there is sincerity. How can you be serious? Because seriousness belongs to the doer. So in mass, temples, churches, you will find two types of people, sincere and serious. Serious will be with long faces, as if they are doing very great thing. Something sacred, something of the other world. This too is ego. As if you are doing something great. As if you are obliging the whole world because you are praying. Look at the religious people, the so-called of course. They walk in such a way as if they are obliging the whole world. They are the salt of the earth. If they disappear, the whole existence will disappear. They are supporting it. It is because of them life exists, because of their prayers. You will find them serious. Seriousness belongs to the ego, the doer. Look, a father working in the shop, in the office somewhere. If he doesn't love his wife, his children, he will be serious because it is a duty. He is doing it and he is obliging everybody around. He will always say, I am doing for my wife. I am doing it for my children. And this man, by his seriousness, will become a dead stone hanging around the necks of his children. And they will never be able to forgive this father because he never loved. If you love, you never say such words. If you love your children, you go dancing to your office. You love them. It is not something that you are obliging. You are not fulfilling a duty. It is your love. You are happy that you are allowed to do something for your children. You are happy and blissful that you can do something for your wife because love feels so helpless. Love wants to do so many things and cannot do. Love always feels that whatsoever I am doing is less than should be done. And duty always feels I am doing more than is needed. Duty becomes serious. Love is sincere. And love is to be totally with a person. So totally to be with a person that the duality disappears. Even for moments, there is no duality. One exists in two. A bridge comes in. Love is sincere, never serious. And wherever you can put your total being in anything, it becomes a love. If you are a gardener and you love You bring your total being into it. Then sincerity happens. Sincerity you cannot cultivate. Seriousness you can cultivate. Sincerity, no. Sincerity is a shadow of being total in something. Says Patanjali, success is nearest to those whose efforts are intense and sincere. Of course, there is no need to say intense and sincere. Sincerity is always intense. But why Patanjali says intense and sincere? For a certain reason. Sincerity is always intense, but intensity is not necessarily always sincere. You can be intense in something but not sincere, may not be sincere. Hence, he adds the qualification, intense and sincere, because you can be intense even in your seriousness. You can be intense even with your part being. You can be intense in a certain mood. You can be intense in your anger. You can be intense in your lust. You can be intense in millions of things and may not be sincere. Because sincerity belongs when you are totally in it. You can be intense in sex and you may not be sincere, because sex is not necessarily love. You may be very, very intense in your sexuality, but once sexuality is fulfilled, it is finished, the intensity gone. Love may not look so intense, but it is sincere. And because it is sincere, the intensity continues. In fact, if you are really in love, it becomes a timelessness. It is always intense. And make a clear distinction. If you are intense without sincerity, you cannot be forever intense. Only momentarily you can be intense. When the desire arises, you are intense. It is not really your intensity. It is enforced by the desire. Sex arises. You feel a starvation, a hunger. The whole body, the whole bioenergy needs a release. You become intense. But this intensity is not yours. It is nothing coming from your being. It is just enforced by the biological crust around you. It is a bodily enforcement on your being. It is not coming from the center. It is being forced from the periphery. You will be intense, and then sex fulfilled, intensity gone. Then you don't care about the woman. Many women have told me that they feel cheated. They feel deceived. They feel used. Because whenever their husbands make love to them, in the beginning they feel so loving, so intense, and they feel so happy. And the moment sex is finished, they turn over and go to sleep. They didn't care at all what is happening to the woman. After you have made love, you even don't say goodbye. You don't thank. The woman feels used. Your intensity is biological, bodily. It is nothing coming from you. In sex intensity, there is a foreplay, but no afterplay. The word doesn't exist really. I have seen thousands of books written on sex. The word after play doesn't exist. What type of love is this? Bodily need fulfilled, finished. The woman has been used. Now you can throw her. Just as you use something and throw it. A plastic container. You use it and you throw it. Finished. When the desire will arrive, then again you will look at the woman. And at that moment you are very intense. No, Patanjali doesn't mean that type of intensity. I have taken sex to explain you, because that is the only intensity that is left with you. There is no other example possible. You have become so lukewarm in your life. You exist on such a low level of energy that there is no intensity. Somehow you go to the office. Just stand by the corner of the road when the people are rushing towards their office. Just watch their faces. Sleepy. Where going? Why going? It seems as if they don't have anywhere else to go. So they are going to the office. They cannot help, because what they will do at home. So they are going to the office. Boast. Automata. Robot-like. Going, because everybody is going to the office. And it is time to go. And what to do if you don't want to go? Holidays become such a suffering. No intensity. Coming back. Look, people in the evening coming back to the house, not knowing why they are going again, but nowhere else to go. Somehow dragging life, lukewarm, a low energy phenomena. That's why I have taken the example of sex, because I cannot find any other intensity in you. You don't sing, you don't dance, you don't have any intensity, you don't laugh, you don't weep. All intensity is gone. In sex, a little intensity exists, that too because of nature, not because of you. Patanjali says intense and sincere. Religion is really like sex, deeper than sex, higher than sex, holier than sex, but like sex. It is one individual meeting with the whole. It is a deep orgasm. You melt into the whole. You completely disappear. Prayer is like love. Yoga, in fact, the very word yoga means meeting, communion. Meeting of the two. And such a deep and intense and sincere meeting that the two disappear. The boundaries become blurred and one exists. It cannot be in any other way if you are not sincere and intense. Bring your total being. Only then the ultimate is possible. You have to risk yourself completely. Less than that won't do. The chances of success vary according to the degree of effort. This is one path, the path of will. Patanjali is basically concerned with the path of will, but he knows, he is aware that the other path also exists. So he gives just a footnote. That footnote is Ishwar Prani Dhanatva. Success is also attained by those who surrender to God. Just a footnote, just to indicate that the other path is also there. This is the path of will. Effort, intense, sincere, total. Bring your wholeness to it.